folks, Mr. G again, back with another educational video. This time we're going to continue what we were talking about last time, talking about loans, talking about credit, and this time we're going to talk about consumer credit. So consumer credit, you might have seen this before if you watch TV, not Netflix of course. You might see these in commercials where they try and sell you something and you only have to pay $30 every 2 weeks or every month for a nice new sofa or a new stereo or a new speaker system. So the whole idea with consumer credit is that you are purchasing an item and you are delaying the payment. So instead of paying $1,400 here for our new couch, we're gonna pay $36 every 2 weeks. So instead of paying it all at once, we're paying it slowly. Some places don't even make you pay for the first 6 months or a year. Since you are delaying the payment, they charge you interest and you will always pay more for the item. Always, always, always. Anytime you take these deals where you can delay your payment, you will always pay more in the end. The extra amount that you get charged is called the finance charge. So how much does it cost you in order to finance the sofa? That's oftentimes the language that gets used. I wanted to dig into this and see where they got this number from and what sort of interest rates they were using. When I looked at the website, they said depending on your credit assessment, you could go from 9% to almost 33% annual interest. Now 9% is reasonable. 33% is incredibly high. This is highway robbery. This is incredibly, incredibly expensive. One other thing you'll notice here is that it tells you how much you pay every 2 weeks, and $36 doesn't sound like very much, but it doesn't tell you for how many of those periods you have to pay. For that, you actually have to do a little more digging, and I did that. So if we assume that we're at 32.8%, this is the number of biweekly periods you would be paying. For context, this is about 2 years of payments, and it will cost you a total of about $2,000. So our $1,400 sofa just got $600 more expensive. We almost increased the price by 50%. This is a huge, huge increase in the amount that you pay for your furniture or anything else that gets financed in this way. In general, if you need to take out a loan, take out a personal loan. So personal loans are done through banks, and most of them start with interest rates around 5 or 6%, which is a lot lower than any of these furniture salespeople are going to offer you. So if you do need to take out a loan, take it out through a bank. Don't take it out through somebody who's selling you furniture. With all that being said, let's jump into an example where we can sort of compare the different options that you might have when you buy something like a new couch. So if our new couch is a little more expensive at $1,700, you can pay for it right now. We're going to call that option A. You can also pay 15% right now, so a small down payment, and then 24 monthly payments of $90. We're going to call that option B. You can also pay nothing right now for the first 12 months, and this is a very common thing that advertisers offer, no payments for a year. Then 36 monthly payments of $75, we'll call that option C. Let's calculate the total cost for each option. So at the end of it, how much are you going to pay? For option A, it's super simple. It costs us $1,700. For option B, it's a little bit trickier. This one is going to cost us 15% of our original sofa. So 15% is 0.15, and we need to multiply this by the cost of the sofa. That's our down payment. That's how much we paid at the very start. Plus our monthly payments. We made 24 monthly payments of $90. So once we have that, we can hit enter. And as we can see, it's going to cost us about $2,415. So definitely more than option A. For option C, it's a lot easier to calculate. There's no down payment. It's just equal to our monthly payments, $75 times 36 months. So we get an answer of $2,700 total. For part B, we want to calculate the finance charge. The finance charge is just the difference between our total cost and how much the sofa cost on its own. For the first one, it's really easy. It's just 0. For option B, our finance charge is going to be the difference between our total cost and the cost of the sofa for option A, which was just the cost of the sofa originally. If we do equals and subtract the two values, we will get $715. Similar for the last one, equals sign this number minus this number, and we get a finance charge of $1,000. Now, even though I've been saying really these are bad options, there are reasons that people choose them. So let's go through the advantages and disadvantages for each of these options. For option A, the advantage is definitely that is the cheapest. The disadvantage would be that you have to have all the money right now. $1,700 is a lot of money, and you might not have all of that money. You might not be able to pay it all at once. For option B, the advantage here is really that it's not as expensive as C, and you don't need all of the money right now. However, you are getting charged an extra $715. You also need to have some money right now for that down payment of 15%. The down payment is just how much you pay at the start before the interest starts accruing. So that's also a bit of a disadvantage if you don't have that money right now. For option C, you don't have to have any money at the time that you purchase. and it has the lowest monthly payment. It's cheaper than option B every month. But you are paying $1,000 more. That's more than half the price. So you're paying probably around 60% extra because you are delaying your payment, which is a ton of money. Our last example here allows us to take an example that you would see in an advertisement and actually calculate what the annual interest they are really charging you is. So if you want to buy a new speaker system that costs $4,400 and they offered you this option of 60 payments at $100 each at the start of every 2 weeks. Let's hop into our spreadsheet, see if we can figure this out. So I've already filled in some of the numbers. We know our future value is 0, our present value is $4,400 positive, our payment is negative because we're paying out, and we're not told the number of years, we're actually just told the number of periods in this case, because we're told that we're making 60 payments every 2 weeks. We don't actually need to calculate the number of years, we already have the number of periods. So we can just jump straight into calculating our effective rate. Number of periods, payment per period, present value, future value. We're making it the start of each period, so we're doing a 1 here. And then as a reminder, for those of you still using Excel, you need to put in a rate guess here. If you're using Sheets, it should be fine. If you're worried, just put 0.1%. It looks a little weird that we get an interest rate of exactly 1%, but part of this is actually the fact that Excel is not showing you decimal places. So if you ever end up with a calculation that comes out with a really nice number like this, make sure that you're adding decimal places, because it might not actually be 1% exactly. It might have some decimals that are getting rounded off. This is our effective rate though. The question doesn't ask for our effective rate, it wants the annual rate. To get the annual rate, we need to multiply this by the number of periods in a year. We're told that this is every 2 weeks. There are 52 weeks in a year. So if we're doing it half of the time, it's going to be half that number, so 26. And we get our annual rate of 29.13%, which is huge. It might seem reasonable that we're only paying $100 every other week, but our annual rate is incredibly high. This is absolutely insane. This is so much money that you are losing because you are taking out these very, very bad loans. So do not take out loans from people who are selling you things. Take them out from banks or creditors. They can give you a much better interest rate. That's the end of the video here. Make sure that you try out some of the homework and the assignment if it has been posted, and I'll see you in the next video.